As a non-crier when it comes to reading, I've read almost 200 books and I think I've only cried to like 10. So let's go through which ones made me cry. First up, we've got A Man Called Ove. This made me cry in the car, in public. I had no control over my eyeballs when I was reading this. The tears were just coming out of them involuntarily. It wasn't so much that I was crying because I was sad. It was very like heartwarming and wholesome. And I was just crying because I was sad but happy, and there was just a lot going on in here. On a very similar note, I read a short story by Fredrik Backman as well. It was called, it's a long one, Now Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer. I really liked this. I don't even know how to express in words. Like, this was so upsetting. It was all about grief. It was very relatable. We're all going to grieve someone at some point, and so I feel like everyone is going to find some part of this relatable. Frankie by Graham Norton. This was an accident. I never meant to read this book. I really didn't know anything about like Graham Norton's writing. I just knew who he was, and so when I saw it pop up on NetGalley, I was like, let's see how it goes. This book ruined me, wrecked me, threw me on the curb. Like, it absolutely just destroyed me. And I still think about Frankie all the time. And I will recommend this book to anybody. The entire Before the Coffee Gets Cold series. This is one of my favorite series of all time, simply because in just like 200 pages, it's able to make me so upset in like the best way though. Like, it's usually the stories aren't overly upsetting. There's like a message to tell every story. So just a quick explainer. Before the Coffee Gets Cold books, they're split into 4 parts rather than chapters. Each part is a new person's story. I think you need to read it in order because there is backstory to it, but the best one for me so far has been the second one. Remarkably Bright Creatures. I put off reading this book for so long because I was so worried about what it was going to do to me, and I was right. I should have been scared because that book literally took my heart, squeezed it, crunched it up, threw it out. Like, that was such a phenomenal book, but also I was not okay at the end. It was one of those books where it wasn't like this one thing happened and it made me really upset. It was like just little things kept happening, and then there was a thing at the end and I was just like, I actually can't do this. Another short story, we've got Evidence of the Affair by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I just did not expect, it was a short one. I read it within an hour, and by the end of this book, I was distraught. I was telling my husband about this entire book, like from start to finish. I gave him the rundown. Like, I needed to vent to somebody because this was one of the most upsetting books I've ever read. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. If you haven't read this, what are you doing? But also, I can see why some people don't love it. It is very slow paced. I loved this book. I was bawling by the end of it. It is the first book that ever made me cry. In 5 Years by Rebecca Stoll. You know what? The actual plot, the story itself, wasn't necessarily the best, but there was a part, like a big chunk of the end of this book, where I just was not okay. I was unwell over this book. It was so sad. This was actually just straight up sad. Like, there was no, oh, that's really wholesome, and like, no, I was really